Okay, hold on. All right, let's watch Legend of the Deer Girl on Twitch because close the player because good content. Also, I remember
Bannons.
this. So I remember that it was supposed to be no neck. Oh. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, I remember this. Didn't they get so this person got added to like a fucking some kind of Twitch thing. It had some kind of power, and people were fucking tweaking out because they like she like was they were like a deer or some shit. It's so
People
dumb.
are getting banned for using emotes I don't understand.
Internet mobs.
They want me to be fired. They are upset at me being trans.
Furries.
What's nice about forest creatures is that they'll sort of give you feedback on your scriptures.
Today we'll be looking at the story of a trans deer woman that rocketed to internet infamy. And 2 years later, we're left to wonder if any lessons were learned from one of the biggest controversies in modern gaming history. With the continuous rise of Twitch as a streaming service throughout the 2010s, in the wake of round 2 of the Roaring '20s, the website decided to make an effort to appeal to their community by extending an olive branch. They did this by announcing that they would be tackling the issue of quote-unquote cyberbullying and harassment. It all started in May of 2020 with a blog post, in which Twitch announced the Safety and Advisory Council, made up of 8 experts and streamers who could advise the staff on policy making, with an eye towards safety and inclusiveness of people from all walks of life. The members of this council included anti-bullying ambassadors, popular streamers, and researchers. Selecting a team with these kind of experts in the field seemed like a noble step, to be sure.
Oh yeah, Co-Carnage, dude. Good one.
Something stood out about one creator named Ferociously Steph, who was also included. Steph has been a full-time streamer since her debut playing competitive collegiate Heroes of the Storm in 2016. She was one of the first transgender streamers to ever be partnered on Twitch, and the first to bring a transgender pride flag emote to the platform.
Yeah, I remember Train fucking losing his mind over this. Dude, if somehow Trainwreck sees this clip, if you remake the fucking Scuff podcast, please have me on. I'm begging you. I'd love to be on there.
Inclusivity includes creating a competitive team composed entirely of marginalized gamers, and vehemently opposing non-inclusive mechanics such as voice chat. Confused Twitch viewers read this description and began to ask amongst themselves, who exactly is this Ferociously Steph? And why does she apparently hold such a negative view on something as basic to multiplayer gaming as voice chat? It wasn't long before Steph clarified her comments, taking to her own stream to address criticism she had already received.
The only way to have a level playing field at the highest level of play is to not have voice chat, to not have people give up their linguistic profiles. I mean, and maybe you think, you know, if you are a competitive gamer, which a lot of people have been like, Steph, you clearly know nothing about competitive play. Well, competition, by the way, y'all, competition requires you to get every advantage possible. To become the top 0.01% in any video game, you have to squeeze every amount of advantage you can possibly get. Voice chat is unfair. Period.
How?
This proved to be quite controversial, but not nearly as eyebrow-raising as what was probably her most infamous take of all.
Oh, God.
It's really not that. I think a lot of you gamers are actually white supremacists.
Huh?
Sorry. Just a fact.
Huh?
How I feel.
This proved to be extremely divisive.
Guys, I guess I'm a white supremacist. I'm a gamer. I guess we're all white supremacists, guys. Sorry.
Language amongst the gaming community as a whole. And although she was described as a
figure out where she, like, what led her down that fucking... Like, what led her down that, like, train of thought? I don't understand. Like, what the fuck? What mental gymnastics did she do, or they do, to, like, get to that point? I don't know.
Competitive Heroes of the Storm player, it seems pretty apparent that not only were her streams not centered on video games like people were led to believe, but also she appeared to not be interested in gaming that much at all. When she was degraded by critics in her chat who challenged her controversial opinions, she doubled down.
I said a lot of people with cis white male sounding voices are here telling me that voice chat isn't a problem, and
If I speak.
That is a fact. Y'all have voices that aren't marginalized coming in and saying, just mute. It's not an issue. Everyone faces harassment. I've heard it all. You're just repeating my like a year ago.
Now it's important.
But it's not wrong! Sorry.
To say that streamers in general had issues with the things that Steph was saying around this time, and it wasn't long before the memes came rolling in. Although the issue of her being trans was certainly used as a weapon in some parts of the internet, with Kiwi
weird.
Farms issuing a lengthy
And that's fucking weird. What does them having to be trans have to do with anything? It's the arguments. That's the points that they're like the shit that they're saying is the issue. Not for real. Just mute. Yeah, literally just close the screen, lol. Like, but no, like that's not that their sexuality or them being trans has nothing to do with the fucking argument that they're making. The argument they're making is fucking stupid. They could be a cis white dude and make that argument, and they'd still get fucking clowned because it's a stupid fucking argument. It's a stupid fucking argument.
Expose on her, revealing all sorts of personal information as well as her birth name. This
weird.
was just the start.
That's weird. They're like dead naming and shit. Like that's weird.
Soon be discovered that Twitch was putting a person who identified as an animal on the council.
That's
this became
weird.
evident when strange clips appeared of her pretending to be a deer on stream, and even talking about how she would routinely go outside and eat grass as a forest creature would.
In my spare time, I go out to my yard and I prance around and I eat grass, and I just munch it.
Okay.
It helps me feel like in tune with my dear self.
One clip in particular on her stream with 1.2 million views shows her getting a quote-unquote scritch while pretending to be a deer in the forest.
What's nice about forest creatures is that they'll sort of give you feedback on your scritches. They're pretty sensitive to scritches.
Now, if it was just left at a few cringy streaming clips, the community would have probably dispersed after a week or two of jokes. But unfortunately, things would become worse when people began to wonder if abuse of power would be had in the wake of the new role at Twitch. We'll learn more about this after a brief word from our sponsor.
Sorry, I got
One of the biggest problems
they
offer you will use down below. With the internet ablaze with the Twitch Dear Girl jokes, it wasn't long before Steph fought back, which unfortunately made the situation 10 times worse.
And I'm not going anywhere. I have power. They can't take it away from me. And honestly, there are some people that should be afraid of me. And that
what? See, that's the clip I remember.
There are some people that should be afraid of me. And that they are, because I represent.
That's the clip I remember. Them saying that they were gonna go crazy with power.
Gonna come for hurtful, harmful people. If you're a really shitty person, I'm gonna stand up against you.
This statement, perceived by many to be a flex of her newfound power at Twitch, shook many that were indifferent before, with the community fearing she had been given authority to ban Twitch users that she didn't like. This was compounded with the fact that she had proven herself to be willing to ban people even in her own streams for small offenses, such as using emotes that she didn't understand the meaning of.
What?
People are getting banned for using emotes I don't understand, because I don't know their connection or what they mean.
It wasn't long before some of the most prominent streamers started speaking out directly against her.
I think that saying like I have power and people should be afraid of me
crazy.
should be an immediate disqualifier for any position on advising or giving
a fucking based ass take.
Opinions on anything.
To many, ferociously Steph was mad with power, even going as far as rubbing it in everyone's face on her stream.
Just eat them whole.
Enter the Gungeon, that's a fun game.
It's important to note at this point, Steph had claimed multiple times that much of what was said about her was taken out of context, implying there was more that she communicated that was left out of the highlight clips. And although reviewing the original footage doesn't seem to reveal much additional meaning behind some of her more controversial points, there are a few lesser-known clips where she further clarifies certain things, particularly in regards to voice chat.
I'm not gonna take away voice chat from all of you. I don't have that power. I'm not even advocating for that. What I am advocating for is for people to have less, for games to have more features in place, like pings, or prefabricated voice lines that your character says to help people who don't want to speak, don't want to reveal their linguistic profile, to be able to still compete.
Unfortunately,
that's just blatantly false. Sorry.
Other controversial statements couldn't be outright dismissed as being out of context. For example, take the tweet where she claimed that she never said what she clearly said.
I have never and will never say that most gamers are white supremacists. White men have the most privilege when it comes to voice chat communication. The statement has riled more than a few white supremacists. Remember, having privilege does not invalidate your hardships.
About gamers being white supremacists. Many saw this as a deflection of real issues, and simply hiding behind hot-button topics such as racism and transphobia to mask a bad argument. This led to even more controversy, with some in the community stating that allowing Steph to use divisive language against white heterosexual males while claiming to be an advocate for inclusion and acceptance seemed to be a double standard. The public outcry against her was so fierce, it started to pick up national attention. In an interview,
this whole thing was a misfire. The Safety Advisory Council was a fucking complete and utter fucking failure.
With Newsweek, she stated, "People believe me to be mentally ill for being different. People believe I am a threat to their video game mechanics. People also don't like me for my pride, and they don't like that they have so..."
Also, they could use a voice changer. That's true.
So little power over me.
I love you, Reese. I fucking love you. You just gave me fucking fantastic
Having confidence and strong will in the face of online harassment is certainly admirable. Many took this as deflecting criticism. One example of this was when YouTuber Vito tweeted, "I cannot believe Newsweek is seriously reporting on the situation without any mention of the crazy things this lady has said. We've actually arrived at, don't make fun of the deer people or you're a bigot. I don't think you're mentally ill because you're different. I think you're mentally ill because you admit to eating grass." Listen, media, I know you love defending everybody, but please don't fall on your sword for a dear woman who says most gamers are white supremacists. I'm terribly annoyed at how many people don't understand how their unnecessary mockery of someone's gender identity completely derails the conversation and reinforces the claims of a harassment campaign. You really think the core issue here is transgenderism? Really?
Claps for Reese, dude. Good for you. Welcome to the ass-eating community. Congratulations.
Months later, in an interview with streamer Dr. K, Ferociously Steph still seemed to genuinely believe that the criticism was almost entirely about her being a trans woman.
That is crazy.
They want me to be fired. They are upset at me being trans.
It's not the problem. That's not the problem.
They think I identify as a deer.
And that sucks, and I hate when people do that. They use like that. They pull that card. That's not the issue of you being different. It's you're saying something fucking stupid. Sometimes that is the issue. No, sorry, that sounds so bad. Sometimes people are mad because you're different and saying something. So for example, you're black and said something and they were mad about it. If you were white and said it, they wouldn't be mad. That's not saying that shit like that doesn't happen. It happens all the fucking time. I'm saying in this case, that's blatantly false. That's not. They're not mad because because they're trans. They're mad because she's saying fucking crazy stupid shit and talking about going crazy with power.
I don't.
That's what I mean.
I'm a human.
Let me clarify.
I identify as a furry, but that was one of the things. Like generally how I see. I don't think I said anything.
My old gamer tag was booty consumer. That just brings down and looks bad in the community.
And I'm willing to like challenge that.
Not this one.
I mean, I have some regrets about like my phrasing for some things, but I think my head was in the right place.
With all of this outrage, Twitch had no choice but to make an announcement pertaining to the role that advisory council members would play. The role of the council is to advise, offer perspective, and participate in discussions with our internal teams pertaining to the work we do to keep our community safe and healthy. Council members will not make moderation decisions, nor will they have access to any details on specific moderation cases. They are not Twitch employees, and they do not speak on Twitch's behalf. So despite Steph's assertion that she would have power and the implication that she would be coming after her critics, Twitch made it clear that she had no such influence. Her role was to simply advise the platform on the implementation of policies that would be beneficial to marginalized voices. And with that, Ferociously Steph faded into internet obscurity once again. Since the Twitch Safety Advisory Council was founded 2 years ago, you'd be hard-pressed to find any meaningful impact or role that it's played in shaping the streaming platform's ecosystem. The benefit of hindsight that we have now is that although some of her comments were troubling to many in the community...
No, I mean, blaming everything on them being trans, that just brings down the look in the LGBT community. The only thing that came from that was permaban hate raiders. True. No, I mean blaming everything on them being trans. That does. You're absolutely right. I thank you for wording that in such a way. That's exactly what I was going for there. No, blaming everything on them being trans, that just brings down and makes the whole community look bad, which is very fucking true. Thank you. That is absolutely correct. The only thing that came from that was banning hate raiders. Yeah.
They were, as
that
Twitch
shit's
themselves
and it's still, you know what's crazy? Banning them, and it still happens. It happened to me. It's happened to me recently within the past week. So really...
It's one actor speaking for only herself. So there you have the story of the transgender furry deer Twitch live streamer. And with that, I think I'll end the video here. So until next time, thanks for watching.
Most evil live stream ever. Let's watch this.